What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RacyDudes.com and welcome back to our final Kentucky Derby Top 5 countdown of the year. It's always bittersweet when we get here. We started this in November. Here we are, April 24th, as we record this for the last Kentucky Derby Top 5. Why is it the last Top 5? Because we'll have picks next week. Forget about Top 5 lists. Forget about everything. We're drawing next week. And we're picking next week. So this is it. It's always kind of bittersweet when we get to this point. Before I get on with the top 5, the final top 5 of the year, I want to read off the top 5 we had back in November, the week after the Breeders' Cups when we start this. Here was the top 5 we had. Forte at number 1. He's the only one that's on the top 5 coming up for this week. For Forte was number 1. Extra Anejo, he hasn't raced since that maiden win. Loggins, he hasn't raced since the Breeders' Futurity. Cave Rock, he hasn't raced since the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And finally, the 5th one, Arabian Night. Arabian Night did run in the Southwest, and then guess what? We haven't seen him since. So Forte topped that list. The other 4 horses, you know what? They might be pretty good one day, but it's not going to be at the Kentucky Derby. None of them are going to make it, obviously, and only one of those 4 horses we had ranked ran another race since we had them ranked. So that shows you how hard it is to get here at the Kentucky Derby. Yes, November was a few months ago, but it's not like it was years ago, right? And you just never know. It's really hard to get to this moment. All right, top 5. We'll start with number 5. Derma Sotogake is who I'll put in at number 5 this week. This is a horse I ranked number 2, moved down to number 3. Now I'm putting him all the way down to number 5. As we get closer and closer, I'm like, I just can't do it. I just can't put the Japanese runner from the UAE Derby on top. But just so many horses have come over from the UAE Derby and haven't fired. So it continues to worry me as we go down the wire here. I do think this is a horse I'll have on some saver tickets. I'll have around it a little bit, kind of as a just in case he goes gate to wire type of play. But as far as Derma goes on top, the longer I analyze it, the more replays I watched, couldn't quite get there with putting him like 1 or 2. So put him at number 5. Number 4 on the list, Practical Move. As the more I watch the replays, the more I think this horse is going to turn for home and have a really nice shot at it. I don't think he's going to get that last quarter of a mile very well. I don't think the last 16th, 8th, however you want to kind of phrase it. The longer they go, I just don't think he's going to be able to finish the job. But you look back at his Santa Anita Derby, if he can run that kind of race, he's right there in the mix. And let's say he gets a dream trip and the rest of them behind him kind of don't. Maybe he can hold on and win this thing. That's kind of where I'm at with him. I'll put him at 4th. I don't think I'll have him on a win ticket unless he draws beautifully here and the rest don't. But I think I kind of was a little too hard off him the last couple of weeks. I'm going to put him at number 4 this week, Practical Move. Number 3, Angel of Empire. This is a horse that's just grown on me the more I watch his replays. I just think he is a real up-and-coming horse. You can barely see him in the Risen Star. My goodness, they got to do something about it. Getting so dark in Louisiana, they're going to have to run that race a little earlier. That's almost just shouldn't even watch it. You can barely see what he's doing, but he wins the Risen Star. I thought his step up from the Risen Star to the Arkansas Derby was significant. I thought it was really, really good. He looked like a different horse that day. He just zoomed by those rivals. Really easy win. So give Angel of Empire a lot of credit for improving. And really, he improved from the Smarty Jones to the Risen Star as well. So he's a horse on the improve. I think he'll be tough. I think he's a little more tactical than one might think. Go back and watch those replays. I think they can kind of put him in the race, not up on front, but a little bit closer to the pace if they want to in the Kentucky Derby. I'll put him at number 3. Number 2 is Forte, and like I said, he was number 1 on the week after the Breeders' Cup in November, and he's been number 1 on this list for many of the weeks, the majority of them. End of the day, I think Tapit Trice is just a little bit better than he is, but don't hold me to putting Tapit Trice 1 and making him my actual pick, because the post position draws are really going to matter this year. And really, hey, who draws the best between Tapit Trice and Forte? That might end up ultimately being my pick. We will see. But Forte, number 2 on this list for now. He's excellent. He deserves to be the favorite. I don't like that his numbers are regressing. I don't like that he kind of just looks like the same horse he was at a 2-year-old. Usually that means you're going to get beat in the Kentucky Derby, although this year this is a field where he might just be good enough without having to improve all that much. And then finally, I kind of spoiled it, but number 1 is going to be Tapit Trice. He's been my number 1 horse since the Bluegrass. I really loved how he ranged up and sat in third up the backside. I think he's going to need an outside draw. I know that he's going to get a wide trip, but I think with a horse like him, big horse, I don't see him weaving in the traffic. You're just going to have to give up some ground and hope he's good enough to come get him. I think he is. I thought he ran a great race in the Bluegrass. I think another, stretch out in distance is really going to help him here. I think he'll be tough, but he's going to have to get a trip. And if he gets an inside draw, probably can't pick him. But I do think he's the best horse in this crop right now that's heading towards the Kentucky Derby. So I'll put him at number 1 once again this week. All right, let's recap it for the final time. Number 5. Derma Sotogake in 5th. I really think this horse, wouldn't be shocked at all if he wins. I just don't have the guts to put him up in the top 2 or 3. Number 4 is Practical Move. Number 3, Angel of Empire. Number 2, Forte. And number 1, Tapit Trice. All right, that's the final top 5 of the year. Thanks, everybody, for watching this. Whether this is the first one you've watched or you've watched them all since November, either way, really appreciate you watching. It's been a lot of fun, as always. And listen, like I said, next week will be all about the picks. And then the next week, we'll start focusing on the Preakness. It's hard to believe Kentucky Derby 149, now less than 2 weeks away. All right, guys, thanks everybody for watching this video. Hit that subscribe button if you've enjoyed these videos. Hit the like button as well. And most importantly, thank you all once again for watching our Kentucky Derby top 5 videos all year long.
RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track across the country. We're ramping up for the 2023 Kentucky Derby, and we want you to join us in the fun. Subscribe to Racing Dudes YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a single video. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.